So I finally figured out how to set up the shop. I wanted to just give you guys the final video here. So on the one bay, I've set up all of my tables and storage areas, and then half of the second bay, I've got all my big tools. And I ended up consolidating a lot of my big tools. Got my bandsaw back here, my drum sander, planer, table saw, buffer, pin router, and I put some clamping on my big wine press clamp. Didn't need to build an additional table, I've just got the one rolling rack. I'll show you what I did here on the tables. So I've traditionally run out of clamping room, and so I'm going to take the secondary bench on the back side, use this for all my clamping. I've got all my clamps lined up, and I've got my pipe clamps lined up over here, and those are just put on with standard shelving brackets. And I've got a pretty steady workbench where I can do 2 to 3 sets of clamping, and then further down the line I've got more assembly. So then further down here I have an area to do some bandsaw cutting. Then I've got my sanding station with my homemade downdraft table and all the tools above it here. And then I put this on wheels so this can roll around. I can roll it in and out of the shop relatively easily and do my sanding outside. So this became a combo tool. This was the old homemade buffer that I made. Mounted this on to my wine press clamp, put 4 clamps on the other side, so now I've got a multi-use tool that I can roll around. If I'm doing some clamping, I could bring this into the shop further, or if I'm doing some buffing, I can take it outside. So pretty versatile now from what I had before, because the press took up a lot of space and the buffer took up a lot of space. One of the things that I'm happiest about through this setup is I set up 12 Busboy bins, and I put them above my workspace. So I've got 12 different bins. These are all my paints and stains. They all fit in one box, and they go up here. So this is about 24 inches by 6 inches by 15 deep. These are perfect bins to put all my parts and storage in. Bring it down, take what I need, put it back up, keep it flowing. You can see I've already got some projects that I'm thinking about. But I've got these 12 bins, these are all my strings, all my wiring. Sits out, lays out pretty nicely, and I've got some room on top to put some other stuff that doesn't get hit by the garage door. And then on the back side here, I've got all my routers. I just grab my router, plug it in and go. And on the bottom here I'll have my vacuum cleaner for when I do routing on this table. Still have to mount my dust collector above the outside door, and then in between the two tables I stacked most of my extra plywood and wood. Probably the only thing that I'll do is I'll swap out the sander with the bandsaw. That way I'll have the bandsaw out, I can roll it around. That's where I do a lot of odd cutting if I'm doing anything weird. I tend to cut a lot of wet wood sometimes, so I can pull that out, make a mess. But I think I'm pretty well set here to get going. I still got to run 220 on the top here and drop those down for my 3 tools that are 220. And then I'm not going to unpack the wood until I get a heater and air conditioner out here, so I'll just leave those in the boxes till then. But time to get to work, guys.